You don't wake up to an 8-figure net worth because you worked harder yesterday. You wake up to it because something shifted. A deal closed, equity got valued, an asset repriced, or access opened a door you didn't even know existed. That's the part nobody films, the quiet setup, the calculated positioning, the decisions made while everyone else was busy chasing a bigger paycheck. Tonight, I want you to picture a life where your money doesn't crawl upward, it jumps, where the number changes so fast it doesn't feel real until you realize it is. But before we go any further, let me ask you one question. If your net worth could hit 8 figures overnight, what would have to change first? Your strategy or your identity? Welcome to Billionaire Vibes, where we don't glorify hustle, we study outcomes. This is the space for luxury thinking, how wealth is built quietly, how abundance is engineered, and how the people who live at the top make moves that look lucky only because you didn't see the blueprint. If you're here, you're not looking for motivation, you're looking for positioning, leverage, and the kind of mindset that makes money respond differently to you. So here's the energy for this video. Forget small steps and slow progress. Are you ready to think in moves that can change your entire financial reality in a single moment? A quantum leap in wealth isn't a fantasy. It's a financial reality that happens when your value stops being measured by hours and starts being measured by ownership. Because income is what you earn in a day, but net worth is what you control, what you can sell, what the market is willing to price you at. And that's why the biggest jumps don't come from raises, they come from events. A company valuation, an acquisition offer, a licensing deal, a strategic partnership, a product that hits distribution at the right time. To the outside world, it looks like overnight. In reality, it's just the first day the public can finally see what you've been building in silence. Now, let's make this real. If your current path stayed exactly the same for the next 12 months, would your net worth actually jump, or would it just inch forward? Right now, most people are living inside a system designed to keep their wealth predictable and small. You work, you get paid, you repeat. Maybe you save, maybe you invest a little. But the ceiling is built into the formula. Time for money, money for bills, and whatever's left over becomes your progress. It's not that you're not doing anything, it's that you're playing a game with fixed rules, and those rules don't create overnight jumps. They create slow, polite growth, the kind that looks responsible, but never looks powerful. And here's the real trap. The harder you grind inside a capped system, the more you start believing the cap is you. You start calling it realistic. You start thinking 8 figures is for someone else, someone with connections, someone with luck, someone with a head start. But wealth doesn't reward effort the way school does. Wealth rewards leverage, positioning, and ownership, things most people were never taught to prioritize. So let me ask you this, are you actually broke? Or are you just perfectly positioned for a life that will never let you become rich? If you want to understand 8 figures overnight, you have to stop thinking like an employee and start thinking like a buyer, an investor, a founder, someone who understands what a number means. Because net worth isn't a paycheck, it's the market's opinion of what you own. It's equity in a business. It's a piece of an asset that can be valued, leveraged, or sold. That's why 2 people can both make $300,000 a year, and one is still financially fragile, while the other is one signature away from a life-changing liquidity event. This is where the overnight part happens, a wealth event. A company gets acquired, a brand signs a licensing deal. A product hits distribution and the business valuation multiplies. An investor wires capital and suddenly your equity has a new price tag. A portfolio asset revalues and your balance sheet jumps without you working a single extra hour. To most people, it looks like magic. To people who build wealth, it's just the moment the world finally prices in the value you already created. So here's the hook before we go deeper. If your income stopped tomorrow, would you still be wealthy, or would your entire success disappear with your schedule? There are only a few real ways people create a quantum leap, and they all follow the same principle. You don't climb to 8 figures, you step into it through leverage. Not motivation, not wishing, leverage. The kind that multiplies your impact without multiplying your hours. And once you see these mechanisms, you'll realize why some people seem to blow up financially out of nowhere, because they weren't building harder, they were building smarter in systems that can scale. In this video, we're going to break down the key levers that create those jumps, how the wealthy use people, capital, code, and media, why the right room is worth more than the right resume, and why ownership is the real difference between looking rich and being rich. This isn't about copying someone's lifestyle, it's about understanding the structure behind the lifestyle so you can engineer your own. Now here's the question that decides everything. If you could only choose one lever to pull first, leverage, ownership, or positioning, what would you bet your future on? Billionaires don't get wealthy because they're the busiest person in the room. They get wealthy because they're the person whose output multiplies while they sleep. That's leverage, when your results aren't tied to your time. Most people are stuck in a 1-to-1 equation. 1 hour equals 1 unit of value. But the moment you add leverage, the equation changes. One decision can move a team. One deal can move capital. One product can be duplicated infinitely. One piece of content can sell while you're offline. And that's exactly how overnight net worth jumps are built, quietly, long before anyone notices. There are 4 main forms of leverage, and each one is a luxury vehicle for wealth. People leverage is hiring, delegating, building a machine that runs without you being the engine. Capital leverage is using money to make more money. Investors, lending, acquisitions, buying assets that pay you back. Code leverage is the ultimate multiplier. Software, automation, systems, create once, distribute forever. And media leverage is attention at scale. One message reaching millions, turning your name into an asset and your brand into a deal magnet. When you combine 2 or more, like media plus code or people plus capital, you stop playing the small game entirely. Here's the real flex. The rich don't ask, how do I work harder? They ask, what can I build once that pays me repeatedly and grows without me being the engine? Because the goal isn't to be impressive, the goal is to be unavoidable. If you had to pick one leverage to build first, people, capital, code, or media, which one could change your life the fastest? Your net worth is often limited by one thing, the room you keep walking into. Because the higher the room, the higher the problems, and the higher the problems, the higher the payouts. Most people spend years trying to prove they're valuable in low-value environments, small budgets, small thinking, small opportunities. But 8-figure jumps don't come from being the most talented person in the cheapest room. They come from becoming useful in a room where money moves fast, where a single introduction, a single contract, a single partnership can change the math of your entire life. The fastest way into those rooms is a high-value skill that creates an undeniable result. Not a vague, I'm hardworking, not I'm passionate. A skill that either increases revenue, reduces cost, reduces risk, or increases status. Think closing deals, building distribution, high-end sales, branding that raises pricing power, performance marketing, product design that converts, negotiating, raising capital, structuring partnerships. When you can walk in and move numbers, you don't need permission. You get invited back. And once you're in the right room, you realize something. Wealth is not only earned, it's introduced. This is why the wealthy obsess over proximity, not because they want to feel important, because proximity collapses time. The right mentor saves you years. The right partner doubles your reach. The right circle gives you access to deals you can't Google. That's the real overnight moment. You're one room away from a conversation that reprices your future. Be honest, are you currently building skills to impress people, or skills that grant you access to rooms that can change you?
Here's the part most people never get told directly. You don't become eight-figure wealthy by being paid well. You become eight-figure wealthy by owning something that grows in value. Salary can make you comfortable. Ownership can make you free. Because when you own equity, shares in a company, a percentage of a deal, a piece of real estate, intellectual property, you're no longer chasing money 1 month at a time. You're holding an asset that the market can reprice in a single event. This is why overnight wealth jumps usually look like this. Someone owns 10%, 20%, 50% of something, and then a valuation hits. A buyer makes an offer, an investor writes a check, a distribution deal lands. Suddenly, that ownership has a number attached to it, and your net worth leaps without your lifestyle changing at all. That's the difference between income and net worth. Income is what you get paid. Net worth is what you could sell. And selling is optional because the real power is having an asset valuable enough that you don't have to liquidate it to feel rich. Ownership also changes how you move. You stop thinking, how do I get hired? And you start thinking, how do I structure this so I keep a piece? You negotiate for upside. You build things that can be bought. You create assets that can be licensed. You stop renting your talent to other people's dreams and start collecting the long-term rewards from your own. If your main income disappeared tomorrow, what would you still own that could make you rich anyway? In the luxury world, perception isn't superficial, it's financial. Because in markets where money moves fast, who people believe you are determines what they'll pay you, what they'll trust you with, and what doors open without you even knocking. Positioning is the difference between being another option and being the obvious choice. It's why two people can sell the same service with the same skills, and one charges $2,000 while the other charges $20,000, because the market isn't only buying the offer, it's buying certainty, status, and signal. Your personal brand, your story, your visuals, your language, your standards is a real asset when it's done right. It attracts premium clients, premium partners, and premium opportunities. It's also a filter. It repels low-level negotiations, time wasters, and bargain hunters. The wealthy understand this instinctively. They invest in how they're perceived because perception creates pricing power. And pricing power is one of the fastest shortcuts to bigger margins, bigger deal sizes, and bigger equity outcomes. But here's the key. Positioning isn't pretending to be rich. It's communicating value at a level that matches where you're going, not where you've been. It's choosing a lane you can own. It's being known for one thing that matters. It's having a standard so consistent that people assume you're expensive before you ever quote a price. Because in high-end markets, attention is scarce and trust is everything. The market pays the clearest signal. When someone looks at your brand in 5 seconds, do they see premium or do they see replaceable? Even the best product in the world stays broke without one thing: distribution. Because wealth doesn't only go to the most talented, it goes to the most seen, the most connected, and the most strategically placed when the moment arrives. Timing is when the market is ready. Distribution is how fast your value can travel. Put them together, and that's when overnight happens, because the market can reprice you in a week faster than you could earn in a decade. This is why people call it luck. They see the launch that sold out, the video that went viral, the deal that suddenly closed, the brand that came out of nowhere. But what they didn't see was the infrastructure, the audience built quietly,
the relationships nurtured, the offer tested, the supply chain ready, the team prepared, the systems waiting for attention like a net waiting for a wave. When the timing hits, distribution turns one spark into an explosion. At a high level, distribution is simple. Do you have a channel that can reliably move your message to the right people? That might be content, email, affiliates, partners, paid ads, retail placement, PR, communities, or high-trust referrals. Timing is also simple. Are you building in a growing market with a problem people are urgently paying to solve right now? Because the fastest way to a quantum leap is being ready when demand spikes. You don't chase the wave, you position before it and let the wave lift you. If the perfect opportunity showed up next week, do you have the distribution to capitalize, or would it pass right through your hands? If you want the overnight jump, stop romanticizing it and start engineering it. Overnight wealth is almost always a visible moment triggered by invisible structure. A valuation hits, a buyer shows up, a partner makes one call, a platform pushes your message, and suddenly the world decides your asset is worth more than it was yesterday. That's the moment people envy, but the moment only arrives when you've built something that can be priced, scaled, and transferred, something the market can put a number on without needing you to be present every day. Here's the blueprint. First, choose one wealth vehicle and commit: business equity, real estate, IP, or a high-margin offer that can scale. Second, build proof fast: results, traction, case studies, revenue, demand, something undeniable. Third, get into higher rooms where capital and distribution live: investors, buyers, operators, networks. Fourth, create the event: launch, raise, acquisition conversations, licensing, partnerships, because net worth jumps at events, not in routines. And finally, convert attention into asset value. Protect margins, document systems, increase recurring revenue, and structure ownership so when the number changes, you benefit. That's the entire game in one line. Build something valuable, make it visible to the right people, and structure it so the upside is yours. If you had to create your overnight moment in the next 90 days, what's the one event you'd engineer to force your net worth to reprice? At this level, money stops being something you chase and becomes something that responds to how you think, what you tolerate, and what you choose to build. The biggest shift is this: you stop asking, "How do I make more?" and you start asking, "How do I become more valuable to the market and keep the upside?" Because wealthy people don't obsess over income, they obsess over assets, equity, and leverage. They measure decisions by what it does to their ownership, their optionality, and their access. If it doesn't compound, if it doesn't scale, if it doesn't increase their positioning, they move on, even if it looks impressive to everyone else. And this is where abundance becomes practical. You start playing offense with your time. You protect your focus like it's a portfolio. You stop negotiating with low standards, low fees, low commitment, low energy environments, because they quietly train you to stay small. You make moves that feel too early to people who only understand certainty, because you understand something they don't. Certainty is expensive, and the biggest upside goes to the person willing to move before the crowd agrees. That's not arrogance, it's ownership mentality. It's choosing long-term power over short-term comfort. So here's the real question that decides whether you ever make a quantum leap. Are you building a life that looks successful or an asset that makes you wealthy? Rule 1. If it doesn't scale, it's not the main game. Keep your job, keep your side hustle, but understand the difference between income and an engine. An engine runs without your constant presence. Rule 2. Get paid for outcomes, not hours. When you tie your value to time, you cap your upside. When you tie your value to results, your price becomes a conversation, not a limit. Rule 3. Your network is not social, it's financial. The right relationship can compress a decade into a week because access is a multiplier the internet can't replace. Rule 4, build once, sell repeatedly. Products, systems, content, IP, licensing, anything you can create one time and distribute many times is a direct path to leverage. And Rule 5, protect your standard like a luxury brand. Luxury isn't loud, it's consistent. It's what you say no to, what you don't discount, what you don't chase. Because the market doesn't reward desperation, it rewards clarity, confidence, and control. Which one of these rules are you breaking right now, and what would it do to your wealth if you fixed it this week? So let's bring it all together with billionaire-level clarity. An overnight 8-figure net worth isn't random, and it isn't reserved for a chosen few. It's usually the result of 3 things lining up at once: leverage that multiplies output, ownership that captures upside, and a wealth event that forces the market to put a new price on what you built. That's the formula behind the stories people call lucky. The moment looks sudden, but the structure is intentional. And here's the real flex. You don't need everyone to understand your plan. You need your plan to be real. You need to stop living inside linear math and start building assets the market can value, assets that can scale, assets that can be transferred, assets that can be bought. Because the goal isn't to look rich for a season. The goal is to create a level of wealth that becomes your new normal, quiet, permanent, and undeniable. If you had to choose today, are you going back to linear income, or are you committing to building the kind of asset that can create your overnight moment? If this video just rewired the way you think about money, don't let it end as motivation. Turn it into momentum. Subscribe to Billionaire Vibes, because on this channel we break down the real frameworks behind luxury, wealth, and abundance, the plays, the positioning, the assets, and the mindset that creates freedom, not just flex. And if you're serious about that choice, what's the first move you're making in the next 24 hours to prove it?